Hello and welcome to another video. Today, I can't do much of an introduction because when we got here it was pouring with rain, absolutely chucking it down. But I couldn't think of a better way to test ride the new 2021 Tenere. I've heard a lot about this bike, so I was excited when I got an email and we got the opportunity to ride with Stan Watt, who is a Dakar racer who's raced the Dakar multiple times and completed it multiple times, and James Hillier, who is a Isle of Man TT racer. And for anyone who knows what the Isle of Man is, it's just the most crazy road racing there is, full stop. And we got to ride with them off-road and really test the capabilities of this bike. So without further ado, let's see what we got into.
So James is on that one, so just grab listen to the bike. He's been crawling around in his ramp.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So if the first three guys grab these three and I'll go and get you another one.
Alright, look.
Yeah, just go and have a little play.
Cool, if I go straight to the off-road?
Yeah, stick her on. Just that bottom right hand button, yeah. That's it.
Now, to be honest here, the bike felt a bit odd. I don't think it was because of the bike though. I think just the actual size of it was so much smaller than the GS. I was struggling to get my feet in the right position, and my legs felt like they were too close together, so I wasn't really stable on the bike at this point. But you'll see further on, the bike just handles it. This right here was because I wasn't too comfortable on the bike, I couldn't find my back foot on the brake, and I was still getting to grips, and obviously the guy in front of me fell, so I grabbed the front brake because I couldn't find that back one. And what happens when you grab the front brake on dirt? You can actually hear James Hillier just laugh as we both drop into the dirt. Good fun.
big one?
Yeah.
So that unfortunately was the end of the riding experience, although we were still riding on mud, but the GoPro had snapped off, so I wasn't able to get any more film footage. So right now I'm gonna just overlay some of the road riding footage and tell you what I thought about the bike. And well, I can only really sum it up in 3 words. I loved it. It was light, maneuverable, felt so clean on the mud. Now on the road, wasn't actually a big fan of it. Now it could be that it had the off-road tyres on, so it wasn't the best in leaning, but I was talking to Stan, the Dakar racer we were riding with, and he was saying it doesn't really like leaning into the corners because it's not a road bike, it's not a sports bike, it's not what it's meant to do. So on that I will say that it wasn't a big fan of the road, and coming from something like the GS, which in my opinion really handles corners well on the road, so that was always going to feel a bit off, but it wasn't bad. And that's honestly the only con I found on the bike. The riding position was nice, both seated and up. I imagine after a while the seat would get a bit uncomfortable, but other than that the suspension felt good. And it's funny because I've heard quite a lot about the suspension on this bike being too soft, but I loved it. Dealt with the bumps, the hills, the mud, stones perfectly. Yeah, I really love this bike. To be honest, I'm seriously considering trading into the GS. Now I love the GS, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful on the road, it's beautiful off-road. It's a heavy bike, don't get me wrong, but I do love it. But this Tenere is really something special. If you can go out and test ride it, please do. You will not regret it. It's an amazing bike. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, enjoy the ride.
It's so strong enough.